Good morning from the Adirondacks. I want to talk with you this morning about my feelings about the imperfection of nature and how that fits in with our yoga process. And when we're working on embodying the full aspects of yoga, of course, we're working on embodying our full forms, right? We are part of nature. We come from the earth, we are the earth, we mix all of these elements and we don't mix it, it gets mixed, and then there's us, individual form, awake, alive, and in it. One of the things that that yoga seems to be about is, can be, perfection. And what is probably meant by perfection can be understood and misunderstood and so on and so forth. So what is perfection? Perfection, it commonly has become this way that we need to purify ourselves and purify our awareness so that we can actually see life as it actually is. And within the yogic framework, seeing life as it actually is means, most often, seeing that at its source it is this radiant, creative intelligence that has manifested all of it. Okay, well and good. This creative intelligence has manifested all of it. But then, what if we're in it, right? What if we're in it? Well, perhaps we have this desire to recognize the fullness of life as it is by going through and into the purity. But then, often yoga will teach us, and then that's it. You got it. That's it. And the embodiment process is different. The embodiment process is increasing the range of experience, both through the natural world of being in a human body and the source of it all, the energetic world. So we can think of this in two, and yoga does, in two separate pieces. We think of the Purusha aspect, which is the sea of empty creativity, intelligence without any manifest form whatsoever. And then we think of the next layer, which is Prakriti. And Prakriti is the wild manifest universe, everything that is nature. In the past, at least in the past of my few years on the planet, I perceive that the idea is to see through this messy, messy nature and arrive at the place of freedom. Again, well and good, pretty good process. But then what if you actually say, and yet, oh my God, I've got children. I've got a house that needs to be cleaned. I've got whatever, all of these things that make up a life. I've got a job, right? I've got responsibilities. I've got messy, messy relationships, right? So there's both beauty and there's mess. For example, even in the spectacular beauty that anybody would say is gorgeous, being on this lake in the Adirondacks, there's all kinds of ways to see, perfection, right? And people will retreat to these places in order to go more deeply inside and into the perfection. Good. But then what? Look around. Look at the ground. It's freaking messy. It's got decayed stuff on it, right? It's got duck shit on it. It's got dying flowers. It's got branches that have been there for years and crumbling things and mucky earth and all of that, and that's everywhere you look. Commonly, we don't call that beauty. Or find something for yourself that commonly you don't call beauty. You call it yucky. All right, so the nature approach is then to say, all right, well, for whatever reason, this form and billions of others are in this form, and there's so much suffering, and there's so much sorrow, and there's so much stuff that, as a human being, we're going to say it's ugly and it's disgusting and it's, and then, where did the beauty go? Oh, it's still there. So this full range of love and possibility and creativity and all of that is existing in absolute harmony with the muck, right? So what's our process? To me, the process is acknowledging the muck, right? Acknowledging the muck so that it no longer obstructs one's accurate view. The muck is part of the view. We're alive. We've got issues. We've got personalities. We've got all kinds of things, right? So we're alive in this. Can we see the full nature of what it is? The base of the awareness, the creativity of the Purusha and the Prakriti as they manifest into this messy, spectacular world that it didn't make a mistake making. And can we be brave enough to say, are you kidding me? This too? Well, the problem is if we're not brave enough to see this too, and not just, oh, this too, that has to be purified, but this too. Unless we're brave enough to see that, we are literally locked out of the fullness of the experience because, as many of you have heard me say over and over again, as long as you are in argument with anything, you're locked in it. So, to the practice for all of us, to your chosen practice. What is your chosen practice? To embody this thing, to see it for what it is, and then take the brave act of saying, yes, and it's painful and it's beautiful and I can hold it and I can be an expression of it, or I can't, which is also part of it, right? I can't. All of it at the same time. The fullness of life lived in form with the recognition of what it is without need to say, I got to be the best at this, I got to be the most pure, the most spiritual. I know most of us are not saying that anyway, but there's a tendency. The best mother, oh come on, seriously. The best yoga practitioner, the best blah, blah. Also not the worst, by the way. You know this, I know you know this, and there's been a growth in yoga in the West, which is, to me, in my years since I was 16, 18 years old, there's been a growth in yoga in the West from this idea of purify, 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 go away, go away, go away, get in, go to nothing, into, because some of us have done that. We've seen a lot of that, and then we have a child. Or whatever it is you've done in your life, we do something. And if we continue to practice, we're called upon continuing to look deeply into it. So at some point I want to tell you some of the ways that I've been pointed to this, and to share with you process, because you're probably just getting tired of just hearing me talk about the way I perceive life to be. I'm actually getting tired of talking about it. But I also really enjoy it. So, till later, thank you. And yeah, thank you.